So we were just saying that this is our S and this is our R. So I just gone through circuit. So this should be our R. Okay, this should be our R. The same thing I defined in the previous case. This should be our R, and this should be our S. Okay. Okay. Then our truth table is going to match. So this is our R, and this is our S. Okay. Now here R is equals to 0, S is equals to 1. Okay. This part is same. No issues at all. Only the terms whenever we were defining. Okay. So this has to be our R, and this has to be the S. Now R is equals to 0, S is equals to 1. Now when R is equals to 0, S is equals to 1, we know the truth table that we have defined. Okay. So in case of our truth table, when R is equals to 0, when R is equals to 0, S is equals to 1. What's the case? 1, 0. It means what? It means that output on this flip flop, this will be 1. Okay. Output on this flip flop will be 1. Since this is 1, what is the output Q bar? Q bar will be 0. Q bar will be 0. Since this is 1, Q bar will be 0. Okay, now since this is 0, it means no signal. It means no signal is given to the base of the transistor. No signal is given to the base of the transistor. So transistor is open. Since transistor is open now, so this C is going to charge. Initially, this C is going to charge, and the charging path will be like this, from VCC to the ground. So this is the path in which it is going to charge. So from VCC, that is VCC to RA, RA to RB, RB to C. So this is the charging path of the capacitor C. Understanding? So just sorry for this taking this R over here and S over here. Okay. So as per our previous circuit diagram also, this is R and this is the S. Okay. Then next is now, once, let me say that, to what extent it is going to charge. To what extent it is going to charge. Now we just said here, saying that if I draw the output waveform, V out with respect to the time t, if I draw the output waveform V out with respect to the time t, you can just observe here, saying that initially output voltage was what? 0. We said that there is no voltage available in the circuit. Initially there is no voltage, so output voltage is 0. Okay. Then next what happened? Next is, since potential at inverting was high, output of comparator 1 was 0. Since here potential at non-inverting was high, potential of, or I can say that output of your second comparator was 1. Since S is equals to 1, R is equals to 0, Q is equals to 1, Q bar is equals to 0. Since Q bar is 0 now, this C is going to charge by this path. Understanding? It means now if I see what is the voltage, okay, this is the voltage across capacitor. So I can say voltage across capacitor VC. So I am drawing for this voltage now. So this is my VC. So I am going to draw what is going to occur at this pin number 7. So if I see this voltage, so it is charging now. It is charging. Okay. But what is the output voltage? Output voltage will be VCC. Output voltage will be VCC. So this is VCC. Okay. Then this capacitor C, to what extent it charges? You see this comparator. To what extent it charges? Now, moment when potential at non-inverting becomes equal to 2 by 3 times that of VCC. That is, since in the previous case we considered initial voltage is 0, this was 0. But now since this terminal is nothing but potential across the capacitor C is now charging. It has charged to such an extent, it has become equal to 2 by 3 times that of VCC. So now what is going to happen is, since still it is charging, still it is going to extend. So it means now potential at non-inverting is higher than compared to that of inverting. Since potential at non-inverting is higher, since potential at non-inverting is higher, therefore, now I'll be getting the voltage or output of this op-amp as 1. Hence, I'm defining it with different color. So, in the previous case, output was 0. In this case, the output is 1. Okay, then you check what is going to happen with respect to this comparator. Now, in the previous case, what was happening? Potential at non-inverting was 1 by 3 times that of VCC. Now you see, the potential at inverting is what? Potential at inverting is nothing but the voltage across the capacitance C. Now, since voltage across the capacitance C is greater than 2 by 3 times that of VCC, it means what now? Potential at inverting is higher. Potential at inverting is higher than compared to non-inverting. So therefore, this state is going to become 0 because inverting potential is higher than that of the non-inverting. So therefore, this state is going to become 0. Now input to the SR flip-flop is what now? R is equals to 1, S is equals to 0. It means it is going to reset. Since it is going to become reset, what's the output? The output signals are, so Q will be equal to 0. Okay, so Q bar will be equal to 1. So when Q bar is equals to 1, it simply means that, so since this transistor Q1 is going to work like a switch. So now in previous case, the switch was open. In the previous case, switch was open. So this is in the first case. In the second case, the same switch, whatever is there, whatever the switch is there, this switch is going to work like a closed switch. So since it's going to work like a closed switch here, now this terminal, pin number 7, what we have shown here. So this terminal, it gets a least resistance path. So this C is going to discharge like this. It is going to discharge. Understanding? So while charging, how it is going to charge? From VCC to RA, RA to RB, RB to C, C to ground. Understanding? But while discharging, how it is discharging? It is discharging C to RB, RB to ground via this transistor. Because this is working like a closed switch, a short circuit. So from ground to the C, C to RB, RB back to the ground. So this is the discharging path. This is the discharging path. Charging path is like this. Understanding? Is it clear to you? So this is how it moves from one state to the another state. Now, as we were developing the output waveform over here, so this was the waveform for our VC, voltage across the capacitance C. So initially voltage across capacitance was 0. Then it started to charge. To what extent it will charge? It will charge to an extent of 2 by 3 times that of VCC. Once this voltage is reached, what is going to happen? It is going to discharge. It is going to discharge. Now, to what extent it can discharge? You see here. So, to what extent it can discharge is, now once it starts discharging, unless the potential across this becomes equals to or lesser than 1 by 3 times that of VCC, again the state will change from 0 to 1. And since again, once again over here inverting will be high, so this will become 0. This will become 0. Again, the cycle is going to recommence. So it means it can charge maximum to a voltage of 2 by 3 times that of VCC, and it can discharge to a minimum level of 1 by 3 times that of VCC. So it will be charging, discharging between 2 by 3 and 1 by 3 VCC like this. So when it is charging, so at that time output will be on high. When it is discharging, it will be on low. So again charging, discharging, charging, discharging. Okay, so this is how you will be getting. This is your output voltage. The square pulse what you are getting is output voltage. That is, it is moving between charging, discharging, charging, discharging, and this is actual charging, discharging curve. This actual charging, discharging curve. So this is voltage across capacitor, which are going to get it on pin number 7, and this square pulse we are going to get it on pin number 3. as output of your triple bar timer. Is it clear to you? Yes, is it clear to you? Any steps which has to be repeated to you people? This is very, very important, since you are having a theoretical concept plus you are going to do the experiment, both hardware as well as simulation. This concept has to be dead clear. Okay, in very short time, I'm going to revisit the concept. Okay, so that I don't want to take any kind of a risk with respect to this concept. Okay. After this, we'll work on equation. Just a minute. There's one question which has been raised. Let me see. So in state 0 and state 1, I guess, it will not work only. So, no. You have understood in a wrong manner. I will just repeat it. Okay. Later we can raise the same query if at all if it exists. Okay. Discharging process after the capacitor is shorted. Okay, fine. So first I'll take that part, that is discharging process after transistor is shorted. So now over here, when this output at Q bar is equals to 1, when output at Q bar is equals to 1, it means that a signal is being applied to the base of the transistor. Now since signal is applied to the base of the transistor, now this is going to work like a switch. So now it is in on condition. It's on means what? This part is shorted. This part is shorted. Okay, so it means now if you see the circuit, pin number 7 is connected where? It is connected here, this junction. Okay, so now it is as good as this pin is connected to ground. This pin is connected to ground. If you develop, if you develop just this circuit once again, what is that you are getting? If you develop this circuit once again, you will be getting only this part of the circuit. That is your RB. So this is your pin number 7, right? Your RB. Okay. Then you are having one capacitance C, and this capacitance is connected to ground. And now here you are having your transistor which is working like a switch. Another terminal transistor is already grounded. Now since you have closed the switch, this is your transistor. Since you have closed the switch now, capacitor had charged using this path RA, and this terminal was VCC. So it had charged using this path RA, RB and C. Now when this is closed, so it is having a least resistance path. So what it is going to do, this capacitor is going to discharge, give the energy back to the circuit, like this. So it moves from, so hence in order to close the loop, I said that ground to C, C to RB, RB back to the ground. So this part of circuit is nowhere concerned. Okay, only these components are involved. That is RB and C is involved during discharging. During charging, it is RA, RB and C, because it wants one path from VCC to ground. Okay, because now in this case, VCC is acting as a source. Sorry, your C is acting as a source. Since C is acting as a source, whatever energy is there in this C, it wants to discharge it. Understanding? Is it clear, Sneha? Yes? Okay. So now, we'll just take this particular circuit diagram. Okay. Initially what we said, we said that our circuit is available on 0 volts. So output is 0. Output voltage is 0. Okay. So I'll be taking the output voltage also as a reference so that I can talk parallelly. You will never get confused. Okay. Then next what we said that now at instant t equal to 0, I am going to give this VCC. So once if I give this VCC, I know that initially there is no voltage across the capacitor. So capacitor is not charged prior. Understanding? So Now what we're going to do, once if I apply the voltage at instant t equal to 0, now I am analyzing what is the present position of the circuit. So potential at non-inverting terminal is what? Potential at non-inverting terminal is, so potential at non-inverting terminal is being given by what is the voltage across the capacitor C. So since capacitor is not charged, what is the voltage? What's the voltage? Voltage is 0. So this is at 0 volts. What is voltage at inverting? Voltage at inverting is 2 by 3 times that of VCC. So out of 2, who is at higher potential? Inverting terminal is at higher potential. So therefore, output of your op amp is 0. Output of your op amp is 0. Now we come to this op amp. So here potential at non-inverting is what? 1 by 3 times that of VCC. 1 by 3 times that of VCC. What is potential at inverting? Potential at inverting is once again the voltage across the capacitor C. So since capacitor is not charged initially, so therefore voltage across capacitor is 0. So therefore out of the non-inverting and inverting terminal, non-inverting terminal is at higher potential. So therefore output of op amp is 1. Now R is equals to 0, S is equals to 1. Since S is equals to 1, what does it mean? Your flip-flop is going to set. So this is your flip-flop, which is going to be in a set condition because S is equals to 1. So S is equals to 1 means what? Q is 1. But what about Q bar? Q bar is 0. Since Q bar is 0, it means your transistor is in an open state. Since transistor is in an open state, so there is no discharge path. So this path itself is not there. The path is open. So at that time, your capacitor is going to charge. How it is going to charge? It is going to charge from VCC to ground. It is going to charge from VCC to ground. Understanding? It is going to charge from VCC to ground in a path VCC, RA, RB, C to ground. Okay, then while charging, so you can see here, now output is on and capacitor is charging. Output is on and capacitor is charging. To what extent it charges? It charges to an extent until potential becomes equal to 2 by 3 times that of VCC. So you can see here. So once the voltage across this capacitor becomes 2 by 3 times that of VCC, what happens? You can see here. So potential at inverting is what now? Already 2 by 3 times that of VCC. Now potential at non-inverting is also equal to or greater than 2 by 3 times that of VCC. At that time what happens? When potential at non-inverting is slightly higher than the potential at inverting, output of this op amp will be 1. Output of this op amp will be 1. What change you going to see in this this one? So in this case, since your non-inverting is available on 1 by 3 times that of VCC, and your inverting, which is nothing but once again voltage across a capacitor C, since this is slightly greater than 2 by 3 times of VCC, now here voltage at your inverting will be higher. Since voltage at inverting is higher, so your op amp output will be equal to 0. Your op amp output will be equal to 0. So your input to flip flops are what now? Input to the flip flop is R is equals to 1 and S is equals to 0. R is equals to 1, S is equals to 0. Then with this case, so since R is equals to 1, it means it is going to reset. So what's the output of Q? Output of Q will be 0. But what is output of Q bar? Output of Q bar is 1. But what is your actual output? Since you are having an inverter here, in the first stage, I said you that even though Q bar is 0, your output is high. Your output is high. Why? Because here you are having an inverter. So initially when output was 0, your main output was logic high. Now when Q bar is 1, your output will be 0. Your output will be 0. Now this 1, it makes the base of the transistor to be excited. It is the base of transistor is, or a signal has been applied to the base of transistor. So once the signal has been applied to the base of the transistor, so this works like a short circuit. It's a switch. Transistor working like a switch. So here the switch is shorted. So once the switch is shorted, I'm going to have a closed path over here having least resistance. So the capacitor, whatever it has charged, in the first cycle, in the first half of the cycle. Now it is going to discharge from ground to capacitance, capacitance to RB, RB back to the ground. Understanding? Now to what extent it can discharge? It cannot discharge completely. Understand? It cannot discharge completely. To what extent it can discharge? It can discharge to a maximum extent of 1 by 3. Once the potential at this terminal becomes equal to less than 1 by 3, slightly less than 1 by 3, at that time op-amp output of this will be equal to 1. Whereas, since again this op-amp at inverting terminal will be higher, therefore this op-amp will be equal to 0. Now once again R is equals to 0, S is equals to 1. So it is going to set it. So it means now output will be 1 and this will be 0. So once again it is going to charge. So like this, charging, discharging, charging, discharging cycles, they are going to recommence. So charging, discharging, charging, discharging, charging, discharging is going to recommence. So when it is charging, output will be high. When it is discharging, output will be low. So like this, you will be getting your output signal. Is it clear to you? Yes, is it clear to you? Aditi has raised one query. What is the need of this capacitor? So this capacitor itself is controlling. Key role in this particular circuit is our capacitor C. So this capacitor is actually changing the voltage at your inverting and inverting and non-inverting terminal of your op-amp. If capacitor would not have been there, if I have placed one more resistor, then the voltage across resistor will be fixed because it's a DC voltage. Since it's a DC voltage, it will not make any change only. No, she's asking about the other capacitor. Okay, so you are asking about one more capacitor, this C. So normally what we do is, directly we cannot connect this terminal to ground. Why? Because you can see here, now if I connect pin number 5 to ground directly, what does it mean? So pin number 5 will be always on ground. I hope you are able to understand it. Now because pin number 5 is nothing but a short connection between this first resistor and second resistor. It's a junction. And voltage drop across that is 2 by 3 times that of VCC. Is 2 by 3 times that of VCC. Do you agree? Now, if I connect this terminal to ground directly, what happens? It is as good as, now this junction will be always on ground voltage. This will be always on 0 volts, which I don't want. In order to maintain this 2 by 3 voltage at all times, I am putting one capacitor C, which is of very small value. Understanding? Aditi, is it clear to you? Since if I connect this terminal directly to ground, okay, it means this terminal itself will go to ground. So inverting terminal of this op-amp will be always on 0 volts. So at that time, your capacitor, what it will do, it will not fade till 1 by 3 or 2 by 3. It will go down till 0 volts. Okay, good. Any other queries you want to ask? Any other queries? This is very important, and I said you in the beginning only. I said you it is tricky, it is interesting. You have to pay a lot of attention. Involvement should be there. Any other questions has been asked? Okay, I'm not seeing on the screen. Okay, sir, as we are working only in reset and set state, so if you place SR by JK, it would not make much difference now, neglecting cost effectiveness. Okay. No, the thing is that as the people know that using these JK flip flops only, all these particular other flip flops have been designed. Okay, since these are user friendly, easily available, and they are available on less cost, we use this SR flip flop or RS flip flops. Okay, other than that, design specifications and all almost they are the same. They will not make much difference. Okay. Yes, any other queries? If no queries, we'll go for the next step. Equation for on time and off time. Shall we go ahead? Okay, fine. Okay. I hope you have noted down the circuit diagram and the output voltage. At times I require it. Okay. So now what we'll do is we will derive the equation. We will derive the equation for what is the equation for on time, what is the equation for off time, and also we'll derive the equation for frequency of this output signal. Okay. So now, in order to develop the equation or in order to evaluate the expression for charging time or discharging time, one should be familiar with this time constant equation. So equation has been given by T is equals to, so I'll take it in the portrait form. So T is equals to R into C ln of, or it's also called as natural log, ln of final voltage minus initial voltage divided by final voltage minus voltage across the capacitor. So this is the equation. Okay, this is the equation. How this equation has come, we are not going to interact about it. It's a standard equation which is being used for a triple part timer. Using this equation, we will derive the equation for on time and off time. Okay, so T is equals to R into C, natural ln of or natural log of final voltage minus initial voltage divided by final voltage minus the voltage across the capacitor. Okay, so now what we'll do is first we'll define what are these voltages. Then we will derive the equation for the on time and the off time. So for on time it is different, for off time it is different. So first we will go for when capacitor is charging. Because when charging I will get the on state, right? Now, if at all if you refer this waveform, so this period is a charging period. So this period is a charging period. So in this charging period, what are all the resistance which are going to come into my I can say either a circuit or a path. If you just observe this circuit, which are all the resistance which comes into the picture whenever this capacitor C is charging? Will you answer me in a group chat? What is the path using which this capacitor C is going to charge? Yes, good, Sneha. It's going to charge using the path. Yes, resistor has to come, but which resistors? RA and RB. So that is this capacitor C is going to charge via path VCC, RA, RB, and ground. Right? So through this path it is going to charge. Understanding? So now it means that while charging, it uses the path what? VCC to RA, RA to RB, RB to C, C to ground. So this is the path that is our circuit is using, our C is using to charge itself. Okay. So in this condition, now we will identify what is the final voltage, what is the initial voltage, and what is the voltage across the capacitor C. Okay. Now in this case, what is the final voltage? You see here. What is the final voltage? The maximum voltage that can be attained in a circuit is nothing but a final voltage. So the maximum voltage that can be attained in a circuit is VCC. So VCC is the final voltage. Okay. Then what is initial voltage? Initial voltage is nothing but, you forget about the first cycle. From second cycle, third cycle, if you observe, the minimum of 1/3 times that of VCC is maintained. So it is discharging minimum to a level of 1 by 3 times that of VCC. So if you observe over here, so initial voltage is what? 1 by 3 times that of VCC. Then what is the voltage across your capacitor C? Voltage across the capacitor C, voltage across the capacitor C will be equal to this voltage. So which is nothing but 2 by 3 times that of the voltage. So it is nothing but 2 by 3 times that of the VCC. So you have to just put these values in this equation. So wherein you will be getting an equation for the on time. So on time is being given by T on is equals to R. R is nothing but what? The resistance which is involved during the charging part. So therefore it is RA plus RB into C ln of, what is the final voltage? It is VCC minus initial voltage is VCC by 3 divided by final voltage is once again VCC minus voltage across capacitor is nothing but 2 by 3 times that of the VCC. Okay. So now if you solve this term, what is that we'll be getting? RA plus RB into capacitance C. Okay. Ln of, so here 3 VCC minus VCC is nothing but 2 VCC. So it is 2 by 3 VCC. I hope I am clear to you people. So I am just taking the LCM. 3 I am multiplying here. So 3 VCC minus VCC is 2 VCC. So 2 VCC by 3 divided by. So over here again I will take this 3 VCC minus 2 VCC divided by 3. So 3 VCC minus 2 VCC is VCC. So this is nothing but VCC by 3. So what is that will be left out? 3 get cancelled, VCC get cancelled, giving out ln of 2. So this is nothing but now RA plus RB into C into ln of 2. Into ln of 2. What's the value of ln of 2? Give me the value of ln of 2. I hope you are having calculators. Yes, good, Supriya. The value of 2 is 0.693. So I can write this equation as RA plus RB into C. Ln of 2 is 0.693. So I can write this equation as what? I can write this equation as yes, on time is equals to, so this equation I should remember. On time is been given by 0.693 into RA plus RB into C. Understanding? I need to remember it as on time is equals to 0.693 RA plus RB into C. Okay. Then now I need to derive the equation for off time. It's nothing but discharging time. So now, in order to work on this discharging prospect, that is, now I want the equation wherein it talks about the discharging period, discharging span of this particular signal. Now, what I need to do over here is the same equation I am going to use, a standard equation which I have said you people, this equation. So using this equation itself, but the voltage levels will be different. Okay. So now let me use the same equation. P is equals to R into C ln of, yes, it is final voltage minus initial voltage divided by final voltage minus voltage across the capacitor. You can see it. So T is equals to R into C ln of final voltage minus initial voltage divided by final voltage minus voltage across the capacitance C. So if I write the equation over here, so I want to write the equation for T of now. What's the equation for T of now? In order to write what is the resistance involved during discharging, I want to know from you people, what is the resistance involved during discharging? Go back to your circuit. You see how your capacitor is discharging. Go back to your circuit. Now you say me how it is discharging, with help of which resistance it is discharging. It is discharging with the help of only RB, because since this terminal will be connected to ground, so from ground to C, C to RB, RB back to ground. Okay, so it means the path, if at all if I want to define, So it is from ground to C, C to RV, RV back to ground, RV back to the ground, RV back to the ground. So it means the particular capacitor is going to discharge with the help of resistance RV. So now, so T off is being given by what? So which resistance is involved? Resistance involved is RV into capacitance C ln off. So this voltage I need to define. These voltages I need to define prior. Okay. So now we will define what are the voltages for your discharging part. So initial voltage. So how to define this initial voltage? So whenever this discharging process is going to start, so we will define what is initial voltage, what is the final voltage, and what is voltage across the capacitor. Okay. Now, if you see this response from the capacitor, initial voltage is what? Initial voltage is what? It's nothing but a potential from where it is starting to discharge. So can you answer me? What is the initial voltage? It's a potential from where your capacitor is going to discharge. So this potential. So from here it is starting to discharge. So this is its initial voltage. This is its initial voltage. So it is 2 by 3 times that of VCC. So your initial voltage is 2 by 3 times that of VCC. Very good. So it is 2 by 3 times that of VCC. Then I want to identify what is the final voltage. The final voltage is normally, if I see with respect to your capacitor waveform, it should stop at 1 by 3 VCC. But I know that this 1 by 3 times that of VCC is almost near to the ground. It's not too above the ground, near to the ground. So what I'm going to do over here is, just for my simplification, I'm going to consider final voltage as 0 volts. That is, instead of saying it is going to stop at 1 by 3 VCC, I am saying that this is stopping at ground. This is stopping at ground. Then what is voltage across capacitor? That it will remain same, whether it is charging or discharging. That is, it is once again 2 by 3 times that of VCC, which was the same in case of the previous case. So if I put these values in this equation, what is the equation I'm going to get? So as I know the standard equation, so T is equals to R into C ln of the final voltage minus initial voltage divided by final voltage minus voltage across the capacitance. So now I am writing equation for T of, which is equal to the resistance involved is RV into C ln of final voltage is what? Final voltage is 0 minus initial voltage is 2 by 3 times that of VCC divided by now what will be getting?